Hop Century Resort. Wow, the glassy lake and blue skies are absolutely magical today, aren't they? Stick with me and I will show you a rope drop morning using the Skyliner transportation system as it takes us to Epcot for the start of our Disney Park Day. You'll hear references to me using the Lightning Lane multipass system in this episode, but there will be other episodes to cover that process in depth. But for now, let's get started.
Good morning. We just left Building 2 from the 50s section, and we just went down to the end cap of our building, went down the stairs, and we're just going to follow this little sidewalk along the water. And
one moment, please, while this noisy utility vehicle drives by.
And we're heading to the Skyliner this morning to go to Epcot for early entry.
My suggestion is to leave your resort room 1 hour before early entry, which is the 30 minutes given to each of the 4 main Disney parks before regular park hours. These extra 30 minutes can only be accessed by Disney World Resort guests. Anyone staying off of Disney World's resort property will not have access to these extra 30 minutes and will not be able to rope drop. Rope drop is the term for the moment Disney opens its gates and at certain places removes a physical rope to begin letting guests into the park. Your My Disney Experience app will not say rope drop. It will say early entry. The reason I say you should leave your room 1 hour before the early entry time is because Disney will often begin to let guests in earlier than the posted time, allowing guests to walk to and enter their chosen queue right when the early entry time arrives. Now let's jump back to learn a little bit more about the Skyliner. So if you've not ever done the Skyliner before, if you're leaving from Art of Animation or Hop Century, you have to get off at the hub that's at the Caribbean Beach Resort. This hub has 3 skylines, the one we just rode to the hub, and then the one that goes to Hollywood Studios, which is directly to the left when you exit the first line, and the one that goes to the Riviera Resort and Epcot, which is straight ahead of the line you just exited. Then you come through one more little station, and this is at the Riviera. You can get off here if you have a reservation for Topolino's for breakfast or dinner. This one, it just slows you down and takes a little stop here for some people to get off. I should have also mentioned the quick service restaurant Primo Piatto at the Riviera, which is delicious and is a great option for people who have access to the Skyliner during their trip. You keep on going to Epcot. Now, if you were going to go to Hollywood Studios at the Caribbean Beach Resort hub, you would have gotten onto a different line there, and it would take you straight into Hollywood Studios. I know some people are nervous about riding the Skyliner, and I do understand that. So for just a moment here, I'm going to let you hear some of the Skyliner sounds that are completely normal and see a little bit of the view along the route.
Welcome aboard the Disney Skyliner at Disney Riviera Resort. If you're just joining us, we are on our way to Epcot. Ladies and gentlemen, we invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the most magical flight on Earth.
I also want to say that the breeze that comes through the Skyliner window ventilation is one of my favorite feelings. All right, back to rope drop. One tip I learned many Disney years ago was when they zig, you zag. Do you see that giant opening to the left? That's a zag. All right, so if you're entering from the Skyliner, you're going to be entering Epcot at the International Gateway, which is Epcot's back door. Many people entering here head straight to the France Pavilion to ride Remy's Ratatouille Adventure. We are skipping Remy and heading to Norway to rope drop Frozen, which is directly opposite of where you enter near France. Oh, let me tell you about this little spot while we're passing it. See that big open sidewalk right there? Remember it. It's right beside the Regal Eagle in the American Pavilion. You can see some really cool, unique characters there sometimes. Keep your eyes peeled. Okay, now we're at Frozen. The only 2 ways I will do Frozen, rope drop or the Lightning Lane, because this standby queue, not my favorite standby queue, but I'll do it for rope drop. So it is, what time? 8:40. Early entry was at 8:30. It's a 10-minute walk
to here. It's hot in September. I'm sweating. Sorry.
Okay, so I mentioned it was 8:40 a.m. and you can see how many people are ahead of us. My 2 suggestions for handling rope drop are to 1, rally your troops in a very loving manner so that you do not have too large a crowd ahead of you in the rope drop experience. And 2, pack your patience for those times you forgot your charger or pacifier or sunglasses back in the room, or if you get delayed in some way. Do your best and just expect the crowds, plan accordingly, and enjoy your time together. So we rope dropped successfully, and now the park is open to all guests. We purchased the Lightning Lane multi-pass for this day and are heading to our first selection. The plan after scanning in is to modify the 2 other pre-selections we made because this is a park hopping day for us and we want to grab some selections at Hollywood Studios. Just FYI, when purchasing your Lightning Lane multi-pass 7 days before your resort check-in, you are only allowed to make choices for 1 park. That's why we are needing to modify at this point.
It is 9:04. We made it out of Frozen, such a sweet little ride, and we're headed to our 9:05 Soarin', and then we're gonna try to modify.
Here's a quick glimpse of Garden Grill character breakfast in the Land Pavilion, which is where you ride Soarin'. I love this dining option. We got our modifications, and now we're riding Soarin', which is one of our favorites. If you'd like to know more about how the Lightning Lane system works, be sure to check out the in-depth conversation I linked to the Smart Moms Plan Disney podcast. You'll learn a lot there. Thank you for listening. I hope you'll like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. And thanks for any shares.